Howdy folks, welcome back to Shallow Pockets Acres. Today we're unboxing trees we ordered from Blue Hill Wildlife Nursery. Can't complain about the leather package. Nothing's broke, it don't look like. But normally you get a bunch of shredded up newspaper in there around the tops to help keep them protected. But luckily that box didn't get beat around too bad by UPS. Good. Ooh. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect as big of a root system on these trees as what I got. Trees do have pretty good root systems on, for what I'm saying. Everything's still good and moist. Let's see. Funnel cow crabapple, and should have two of them. Should have two of them fall draw chestnuts. Let me get that wire tie cut off and we'll look at them. Now, I had planned on soaking these in a bucket of water for a little while, but they both still have, or they all are still good and moist, and they have a lot of dirt on them, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to put them into the ground. There's my two woodland chestnuts. It's a son of cow crabapple. Turning point crabapple. Should be three of them. There's another one. The third one. That should be my other Sonic Cow crabapple and my 2 fall draw chestnuts. So I guess we'll get the shovel and get to planting some of these. When you're planting your new trees, you want to make sure you water them in good and let your water settle, and then stomp it down around the tree to pack it in good. You don't want any air pockets around your roots. I'll let that settle in. Come back and step it down again later. Okay, here's how I cage my trees. I use 4-foot fencing here. I don't have a whole lot of pressure from the deer, other than they will eat stuff that grows outside of the fence, but they don't push on my fence a whole lot or anything. And I use a cheap rebar stake. There's 2 reasons I use this, because eventually I'll take this higher cage off and I'll move this stake in a little closer and put 3 stakes around it and put 3-foot chicken wire around the bottom, keep the deer from rubbing on them once they get bigger. And I just take and bend over 3 different tabs there down along. That way you can get inside and clean out if you need to. And if you only use 3 of them to begin with, you got a lot more to, if those ones happen to break on you from being bent back and forth. I don't put any weed mats down. Maybe I should, but normally I don't have a whole lot of weed competition. I do get some birch trees that grow up in my stuff that I gotta cut out every couple of years, but I don't see the price of buying the weed mat worth anything to me. I got this one planted here. I don't know how well you can see these cages. That's a crabapple back there. This is another crabapple here. We got one there. Right there's another. And then back here's the last of the crab apples are back here behind the cabin. Which this hole I need to fill in more. I had to take that rock out of the hole, and I need to find some rocks or dirt to stick in there. And then over here is where we planted our chestnut trees at. And on these chestnut trees from Blue Hill Wildlife Nursery. I don't know if it's going to focus on it with the sun or not. They're supposed to be 2 to 3 foot tall trees, and they're good on their size. The other one, chestnut. And then I might have this one planted a little close, but I ain't gonna live long enough for the tops of them to grow together. Or I doubt it. Another woodlands chestnut. And my tree being crooked, I really ain't worried about that. It was digging the holes. Oh, if I wanted to straighten it out, I had to dig my hole bigger. And you hit rocks everywhere up here where you dig, so it'll eventually straighten up some while it grows. This is fall draw chestnut. And I don't know if the woodlands are actually grafted trees or not, but these fall draw are definitely a grafted tree. You can see where they're grafted onto a different rootstock. The woodlands kind of look like they might be, but they kind of look like they're not too. I'm not 100% sure. All the apples I bought are grafted off of them. In the planting paper, there's suggested planting instructions, and this is the first I've seen that on, or seen this on anything that I've bought, is they recommend you plant at least to the graft, preferably a little deeper than the graft, to get more roots on your trees. And I have heard that if you plant them below the graft, you'll grow a full-size tree. The jury's still out on that. I didn't plant any of mine below the graft because I wasn't digging another 6-8 inches deeper in my rocky ground up here. And at my age, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference whether I get a semi-dwarf tree or a full-size tree. I did have one other apple that I planted over on my other spot that we'll look at a later date probably. And I'll show later on with these posts how I set them around the other trees once they get bigger. A lot of people recommend you go 5 foot on your fence. I only use 4-foot fence. So the Blue Hill Wildlife trees, my thoughts on them, I'd buy them again. The only thing that, and it really didn't affect me any, is I'd like to see some bubble wrap or something put around the tops of the trees in the box. Something so if the box does get smashed a little bit, your trees wouldn't get damaged. Mine didn't get damaged, so mine was fine. The height on them was good. The roots on them were good. Like if you're wanting to try them, I'd suggest trying them. They come well packaged, other than not having nothing around the top of them. And they were wet. They were still damp. Everything looked good. So we'll have to wait and see, because the apples were supposed to be 3 to 4 foot, and I'd say they're all pushing closer to 4 foot. The chestnuts were supposed to be 2 to 3 foot, and I'd say they're all pushing to 3 foot too, because a couple of them might even be a little taller than that. So I'd say you get what's advertised as far as trees coming. They were well packed. Other than, yeah, I'd like to see something around the top, but it wasn't necessary for what I got. And then in this video, we'll probably throw some pictures at the end of what else we done or have been working on this week, but don't have done yet. Thanks for watching.